Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Dynasty Football Strategist. In this video, I'm going to teach you 5 ways to win your Dynasty Fantasy Football trades. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much. The 5 steps are as follows. 1. Know your needs. 2. Know your league mates. 3. How to structure trades. 4. Use trade calculators. And 5. Market valuation of assets. I'm going to go in depth through these points and give you specific ways in which you can utilize these thought processes to your advantage and win your dynasty trades. Without further ado, let's begin with step 1. So, step 1, know your needs. We all have a roster that we have to fill, and you need to be able to evaluate where your strengths and weaknesses are so you can figure out exactly what positions you need to hammer in trades. Step 2, what type of team are you? So, are you a contender, a pretender, or a rebuilder? A contender is a team that has legitimate shots to win the championship and is a lock for the playoffs without doing anything to their team. A pretender is someone who does not have a shot to win their championship, but they're deluded enough to think that their team can. And 3 are rebuilders. These are teams that may have been contenders in the past, but have torn down their teams to gain younger players or draft capital, or may just have not been good to begin with. Either way. The next step. What type of players should you acquire? This is contingent on what type of team you have. If you're a contender, you don't really have any positions of need, but you could always use some depth. A pretender, you should be looking to move one direction or the other. You'd never want to be in the middle. A rebuilder, you should be looking for younger assets and draft capital to help fill out your team for the future with young talent. The next step. If you are one player away, you're not a contender. A contending team is going to be able to withstand injuries. And if you are one player away, and let's say you get that player in a trade, and then another player gets injured, then you're pretty much right back where you were, and you're not a contender. And finally, beware of trading future first. Everyone thinks that their team is a little bit better than it is, and this can be dangerous to you if you trade away your future capital and you have an injury-riddled season, or if your team just isn't as good as you thought it is. And depending on how bad your team performs, that can really hurt you in the future. Step 2. Know your league mates. You need to know your league mates' stylistic preferences in trades. Some teams like to tier up from lesser talent, some teams like to tier down from upper echelon talent, and some teams like to trade down in the draft, up in the draft, so on and so forth. So you need to know what your league mates like to do. Now, you need to also be able to think from their perspective. So, if you can get a pattern of what they like to do in trades, you can use that to your advantage, and you'll already know how to set up a trade to work to your advantage. Also, don't send lopsided trades. That's one quick way to lose a trade partner forever, and it's just bad practice. If someone else sends you a lopsided trade, just accept it. You've done nothing wrong, and they chose to offer that to you, and so you shouldn't feel bad about it. And finally, don't spam your league mates with trades. Everybody has that one person in their league that just spams you with offers, and you're not interested, and you decline, but they will not stop incessantly messaging you. Don't be that guy. Step 3. How to structure trades. First of all, send an offer. Don't say anything. There's a chance that they accept your initial offer, and then the deed's done and you don't have to go through as much effort to get it completed. Also, know how many starters are in your lineup. So, if you have 9 or 10 starters, you generally want to have more studs than total depth, and if you have 11 or more starters, you want to have more depth than just total studs. Also, don't lead with your best offer initially, because if they're a savvy player, they're going to counter with something a little bit more tailored to their side of it, and that's just not what you want to do. You want to start from your side winning at least a little bit. Also, try adding fluff pieces. Sometimes adding a third, a fourth, a fifth round pick, or a couple late round picks will get a deal done, and the hit rates with those picks are so minuscule that they're almost worthless essentially. So, see if somebody will bite on that. Step 4. Use trade calculators. Now hear me out. I know the bad rep that trade calculators get, but they can be useful. So yes, you can use them to ensure that you aren't missing something in a trade. I use them in every trade that I do just to make sure. I don't want to have the hubris to think that I win every trade I make and then massively lose value that way. No thank you. What I also do is I use them to show other people that I'm trading with that the trade is fair. I use these in every single trade for that reason. I also use them to acquire the best asset for smaller assets, predominantly in Start 9 or Start 10 leagues, where you want to have more studs than depth. You can also use them to show that you are overpaying for an asset. So if you're a savvy player, you may be well aware that a player is on an upward trajectory before other people are, and you can use this to your advantage if the trade calculator hasn't picked up on that yet. Step 5. Know when assets are most valuable. Certain assets change in value during specific times of the year. Veteran assets are most valuable in season, specifically right before your league's trade deadline. If you're looking to offload vets, sell them at the league trade deadline. You'll get the most value for them. Inversely, if you're looking to buy win now production via veterans, do this in the off-season. You'll be able to get them much cheaper. Rookie picks, however, are most valuable from around the time of the combine until you are on the clock in your rookie draft. And every single year, no matter how good or bad the next draft class projects to be, draft picks will always increase in value. It happens every single year. So if you're looking to buy picks, buy them in season from teams that think that they're better than they are. And if you're looking to sell draft picks, sell them when you are on the clock. You will get the most value because there is always someone that really wants a player when they could be up at your pick. Finally, buy low and sell high to increase team value. Increasing your total value of your team is the name of the game here. So if somebody performs poorly, but you expect them to perform better for whatever reason, you have a chance to buy low on them for less than you would have before they performed poorly. Inversely, some players perform better than you would think they would. And now it's up to you to figure out whether or not they can keep up how they performed. But if you don't believe that they can, sell high for more value than you think that they'll be worth in the future. Use these tips for your advantage. So, before I let you go, I wanted to give you 2 potential buy low candidates. The first is Kyle Pitts. Now, he's still somewhat costly. He'll still likely cost you a first plus, but hear me out here, especially if you're in a tight end premium format. So there have only been 2 tight ends to ever reach 1,000 receiving yards as a rookie. Kyle Pitts is one, and Mike Ditka is the other. Now, Kyle Pitts has been hampered by terrible quarterback play the last 2 years, as well as suffering an MCL injury 2 years ago, but he still wasn't fully recovered this last year. He's going to be fully recovered now, but that's not it. His quarterback situation is infinitely better. They have Kirk Cousins now, who, if you know anything about fantasy football, his weapons eat. But let's say Kirk Cousins doesn't work out. Let's say he doesn't come back from his Achilles injury. Well, they drafted Michael Penix 8th overall. He is a slinger. Kyle Pitts is going to be in a great situation for a long time here. Plus, they picked up his 5th-year option, so he's guaranteed to be in this good situation for at least 2 more years. Another good buy low candidate is Dontavian Wicks of the Green Bay Packers. He's in a wide-open receiving room, and he can play any position on the field. A couple stats about him are he finished 4th in win rate versus man coverage, which is his ability to beat man coverage and get open, as well as 10th in overall win rate, which is his ability to beat both man coverage and zone coverage combined. He also is attached to Jordan Love, who's an ascending quarterback who played like an elite quarterback in the latter half of the year. He's also tied to Matt LaFleur, who is one of the Shanahan disciples from the 2013 Washington team, and he runs a fantastic scheme that excels in getting his players in situations in which they can thrive. The whole situation around him is perfect for him to have a massive, massive year. So I would buy him low while you still can. So, to conclude, know your needs, know your league mates, know how to structure trades, know how to use trade calculators to your advantage, and know market valuation of assets. Is there something you agree with or disagree with here? Please comment below and tell me why. With that being said, I'm the Dynasty Strategist. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you and have a good day.